don't think I'm ever going to be bored of this view. Absolutely love it. So, got two things I want to talk about today. Finally, your mate Chris, the electrician, back from his holiday, 3 weeks off. Ridiculous. So, as you can see, that's new. What does it do? Pretty clever, isn't it? So yeah, one for light, one for bottom drain air, as you've just seen. Yes, I could have gone for a Wi-Fi switch, but it would have meant faffing around with my phone. And I'm old school, I just wanted a switch. So if I'm out here, or even if somebody else misses, or I say one of the kids, they're not bothered, but if Rebecca brings the cat out because it likes to drink out of the pond, who you'll see at some point soon, you can just flick the switch and turn the air off. Rather than, I didn't want to have to mess around with my phone, I'll be honest. I've also had a lot of people saying about jump guards, am I going to be putting any on? At this moment in time, no I'm not. Obviously the water is quite high up on the window. If I start getting fish popping out of the pond, then I may consider it, but I don't want to do it. For me, it will ruin the look that I wanted, so we're giving it a miss. So yeah, the food is going back in now. I've not checked my water parameters. I've still got a little bit of flash in every now and again. They are due their second FMG dose if I want to put more in, but they massively calmed down since that went in. Although there is still some flashing and stuff, but whether or not they would have been flashing before I'd have had a window, I don't know. But obviously now I've got a window, I'm noticing every little kind of flick, flash or odd bit of behaviour, but that could have been there anyway. It's just now that I've got the option that I can see into the pond, so I'm trying not to stress about it. On the whole, they're looking good. Still a couple of little marks on people, but they are healing. They are healing and getting there, including Chubs. We lost 1,000,001 scales on her tail. That show of the eye is completely healed now, where it had grazed. And a lot of you have been asking about Bumblebee. It's a tiny little sort of, I don't know, blob on the side, but other than that, there's a couple of tiny red patches on the side of her now. See if we can get them over this way. But I'm more than happy with how she's recovered, seeing as I thought maybe potential the fish would be a goner. So I'm just leaving them be for now. And the other thing, oh my god, how green do the windows go and how quick. Crazy. Anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about today. So my electrics are in. Old school switches. Now that'll annoy a few of you, but that's what I wanted to do. So in here, I've got a light switch. Hopefully now, also I've adjusted my camera settings, so there should be no flicker. Looks good on my screen now, so hopefully that's coming across well. So my plan for here is I'm just going to have a worktop across here with a seat, some cupboards to store my junk. But everything is now got its own dedicated plug socket, so I've got rid of the extension lead. This is the switched one. So the air pump that will be on the bottom drain will be switched, which at the minute I've got the old Halia one that I had on my old pond, that's running fine. I bought a slightly bigger one thanks to Frank Coy for dropping it off the other day. I bought his spare, I think he had a double spare. That's running, that's an 80 litre running the bio chamber here. Which I'm just made up about. I still can't believe how perfect it is. So that's running that, and that leaves me the Charles Austin one, which I bought to run the bio chamber as the spare, but I might put that on the drain. A couple of people have mentioned just to see how it pumps at depth, but that should probably be the spare really because it's quite old, but it's running fine. I don't want to put too much air through the bottom drain. So anyway, that's the one that's on the switch. Obviously I've now got a consumer unit here, properly done, thanks to Chris. Still need to send me an invoice. God, the electricians are just messy though, look. And I've got a plug here for this, which is the second part of what I'm going to talk about, is my shower, which is inside the pond. Inside the pond, inside the filter house. Again, not to everybody's taste, because some people say that it should be outside and running into the water. I didn't want that. It's nice and quiet outside, as you've just seen, and it's being returned underwater. So we've done a couple of trick things with this. One, obviously I had to get a custom tray made to have the spigots on the bottom, so there's just two 4-inch spigots on the bottom connected with the rubber boots and then returned to the pond by these pipes. As you can probably see, I've got 2 ice cream makers on the top. And what we're doing there is we're using the shower, not using the shower, but the flow's going over the shower, then being returned via these pipes underwater. And then any foam or crud is being skimmed off with these 2 up pipes. The shower's running. It's a Vario 30,000. And we're running it at 95. I don't know why I put it on 95. I just feel that rather than pushing it to its maximum. So 300 watts. 95% of 30,000 plus some losses. I don't know, there's over 20,000 litres an hour going over that. 2-inch spray bar. So the water goes through the shower like it normally does. It probably sits up in here somewhere, and then goes through the pipe, and obviously crashing through the media, it will foam the water up a little bit, and it goes through these returns, and then as it goes through the pipe, because there's obviously a hole in this T here, the foam just goes straight up and then comes out the top there. Saves returning that to the pond, so that's all the docks from feeding, and eventually all the weed and sort of any organic stuff within the pond which was skimming off the top. For some reason the one on the longer pipe, the longer return, which is this one, produces way more foam than this one on the shorter side. Probably something to do with there's a lot more water in the pipe, so it has more chance for it to come out of there. But I'm not getting this returned to the pond, so there's no foam on the pond, there's no horrible junk coming through like you would normally see with a shower. It's doing its job. So I'm going to put a couple of 90s on the top and push these down a touch. Getting these level was actually a little bit tricky, because you want it just, I think the water level is quite near the top. It's probably 10 mil off the top. So I had a couple of fun evenings getting that perfectly right, because they do fluctuate a bit, and if the fish swim past the other side where the return is, which is only about a foot from here, I think it wafts it, and obviously the water will be going up and down, and it can sort of spill over a bit. But as I say, I'm going to put a couple of 90s on the top of these and have it, all the junk being caught in a bucket below here. But for now I'm enjoying the foam. I'm just using a cloth to mop it up every day or two. But yeah, stopping all of this rubbish and horrible stuff going back into the pond. And there's a lot of brown on this one here, look, disgusting. Yes, it takes up a lot of room. Yes, that's a temporary fix. Going to get some stainless steel pipe supports purchased, made. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're getting them. Get rid of that block, the block of wood, just to support the pipe, just to stop the end popping off over here on the spigot. I'm going to need a door stop, because obviously the door will hit it as well. But running absolutely spot on. Couldn't be happy with it. Unbelievable. And if we go out to the pond, it's hard to see the flow. There's a couple of little tiny bubbles coming through here, look. But we weren't sure how good these grills that I've got, if they were going to allow enough water through, but they are more than adequate. Spot on. Got lucky with them. And you put your hand there, the water is flying through. The fish don't seem to mind it as well. They'll come over and have a look, have a bit of a nosy. So yeah, nice little addition there. That was copied off somebody else. You know you are, Frank. He had nut pipe on his pond, and the amount of junk that is skimming off the top, I thought, yeah, I'm going to have a bit of that. And as you can see, it works spot on. No doubt, when I'm feeding an absolute ton, it's going to be producing quite a bit of foam. Couple of little jobs to do today. Got a leak on here. We'll take that apart. Look, dripping. The floor's wet. We need to sort that out. Clean some of these pipes down. Have a bit of a sweep up, and I've got all of this junk to sort out and divvy up as well. So then, when my bank balance recovers a bit, it's going to get me sideboard and cupboards ordered for here. And the biggest thing I've got to do within the next few weeks is the roof. At the minute I've just got my temporary cover on the top here, which is my thick damp proof course DPC sheet. But that will be my permanent roof covering for waterproof. I'm actually going to be having a sedum roof on the top. I just need to get that ordered really. So many jobs to do. Still haven't made any way of getting this finished. I've not been doing that. And over this side, I've still not even attempted to do my new overflow bucket, which is that. Get rid of that little bin. And what I am going to do today is get me guttering installed. So I'm going to have a bit of guttering along the side of the roof here, because as we know, the roof isn't perfectly level and straight, so I do get a bit of pooling on the roof, and when there is a lot of rain it all pours off this side here. So just to protect this side of the pond, the wall, and there's normally a massive puddle down there. We don't want that either. We'll talk about that another day. So yeah, shower, can't believe it, more than happy with it, working an absolute dream. Right, I'll get a few tools out, get me wood measured up and cut for, that's the wood that needs to go on the back of the pond for the gut to attach to, so I need to paint that black, and then I can get that up and all screwed in. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Oh, so in typical me fashion, I don't know what's going on here. The top's obviously pierced where a slightly too big a screw, and I can't get it to stop dripping out of here. So I'm going to just buy a new bloody 10-inch pre-filter. Giving up on it. so God knows what's wrong with it. It just won't seal. I've even tried to screw it round, put a bit more Vaseline on the O-ring and tried to knock it round a bit further with a hammer. No, not that. Still not having it. So I've moved on to another job. Just forget about that one. So I'm making the other one of these. So I've got the template there, I've cut it to length, so I'm going to cut this out, drill that out, because I've got a hole in the middle of all of mine, just like that. Cut that, paint it, screw it up, job done. Should be easy, but who knows, everything I do turns to a ridiculously difficult job, doesn't it? Funny. Right, do some drilling, cutting, painting, and I'll be back, hopefully with it screwed up. Had a bit of a busy day. So I've got my guttering fitted. Just need to, when I've sorted my bucket out, my new bin for wastewater, run the downpipe into that as well. Might do that tomorrow. Been tinkering in here. Took way longer than expected, but everything does. Got a shelf up for the air pumps. I'm not completely happy with it, but it's what it is, I suppose. I was going to put it over there, but the plug cables aren't long enough on either of the two pumps, so I put it over here. But they're there. I'm just having a tidy up now. It's had enough today. I don't know whether I showed you this earlier. I fixed my leak, not got a bucket in. Well, I did say, I think, because I'm going to get a new one of them. So yeah, I need to have a good sweep now. I finished tinkering with stuff and I've stopped that leak from going on the floor. Hopefully this will dry out tomorrow. I can give it a good old sweep up in here, and then wipe all my pipe work down. A bit dusty from drilling, and everywhere's just covered in crud. So yeah, still loving that. Awesome. So that's it. That's probably it for this week actually. Not a lot diddling. I'm trying to, hopefully by the time you see this actually, we'll be pretty much up to date with my diaries. Because I was getting a bit of a backlog, and I was getting a few complaints from people, you know you are. So we should be pretty much up to date now, maybe a week behind, but we'll see. Depends what actually I've got filmed on this video. Still need to sort that, which again I'll talk about. I'm going to get a plug for it, because we don't have a plug. So all that happens now is every time I walk up to the pond and they see me coming, it's like I've never been fed. They just want to eat at the minute. So yeah, thanks for watching this week. I'll catch you next week when God knows what we'll be talking about, but I'll see you then. Bye.